Disclaimer, I have said reading women's prize throughout this video when I meant to say women's prize for fiction. I am sure Kendra Winchester is so proud. And also, I'm sorry about any talking in the background. My son is playing Sea of Thieves with his little friends online, and I can't shut the door because that'll disturb the cats, and trust me, you would rather hear my son than the cats. Hey, it's Doris with All the Books, and I am here with my Women's Prize for Fiction reading plans that I meant to do a month ago and have just not gotten around to it. And Adam from Memento Mori reminded me today that I really need to get to that right away. And then I remembered that, you know, the short list is announced tomorrow, so let's just dive in and make this quick so as not to bore anybody too much, because you've all heard about all of these books over and over and over again, and you know, I'm not that good with reviews anyway, so here we go. These first 6 are ones that I already owned prior to the announcement. So yes, 6 books were already in my house before the announcement was made, so that's exciting. The first 3 I had already read prior to the announcement, and those were Home Fire by Camilla Shamsi. This one I really enjoyed. I'm not going to tell you about them. I'm just going to tell you if I liked them or not, because you know about them by now. Adam's right. You know about them by now. I did really enjoy this. I liked the subject matter. The end was a little bit melodramatic for me, which is shocking because I'm kind of into dramatic endings. But yes. And the lover's triangle kind of broke my heart. But yeah, good book, good book. And a commentary on the political nature of these book prizes. It's kind of inevitable that the judges would have an agenda. I mean, even the Newbery honor for middle grades and the Caldecott picture book for, you know, elementary grades have agendas, honestly. I've often thought that it would be really cool to do a dissertation on how our social mores have changed over time based on the Newbery books that have been chosen through the years. I think that would be a really cool study. I used to read a lot of Newbery's, like, backlisted ones. I just found the topic fascinating to see, you know, how society has changed. But I wouldn't write a dissertation on it because I don't like to write. Anyway, Unburied Saying by Jessamine Ward. This is a book that I did not like, but I think it's a great book. So this is a really interesting topic as far as prize lists go and book awards go, because I think that 2 things that make a book impactful for me is if it has an emotional impact or an intellectual one. And this one has an emotional impact. It's not necessarily one that I appreciated, but it's definitely there. It's extremely well written, and it's made me think. This one, I would say, out of the ones I've read thus far at least, has really stuck with me in making me think about things. And I think part of that stems from reading Ta-Nehisi Coates' We Were 8 Years in Power, and he mentioned books don't necessarily, like, there's not a happy ending with some of those Black history stories, with most of them, a lot of them. So that's reflected, it should be reflected in literature. It's just a fascinating topic to me. So there was that one. And then, also on that note, I've heard some negative discussions about, ironically, the uplifting literature in this year's list. Hello, Eleanor, Oliphant is completely fine. So on the flip side, I absolutely adored this novel.
These kids are
I loved it. You guys think I'm so nice, and I am, truly. I do try to be. But inside of me is this little sadistic book nerd, and some of her one-liners, just, I was falling on the floor laughing. Especially the one where she's talking about, you know, being in elementary school and how it's just completely hokey that she thought field day was, and they must have been creating that to make those kids feel better because they didn't understand how to use apostrophes. I wish I had remembered to look that line up for you guys. But anyway, funny. But I thought the author, this is, you know, not appreciated by everyone, but I really thought the author did a great job of walking a fine line between needing people and needing to work on yourself. Because I didn't see that she fell in the trap of having someone fix her. That's another problem, her not knowing how to use this finger sign. I didn't see her falling in that trap. I saw, you know, just like in life and in nature, life doesn't resolve itself without help. You know, the little seeds have to have physical forces to crack them open. And, you know, the little chicken can't come out of the egg without a hen sitting on it. We need others to crack that nut. But she then took it upon herself to go to therapy for weeks and weeks and weeks to work through her issues. So I just really liked the balance in that book, and I love it. Then The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock by Imogen Hermes Gowar. Historical fiction, loved the way it was written, just a delightful romp for 75% of the novel. Then it got just extremely melancholy. And I think that was the intent of the author. So as far as reading this, I really enjoyed the vast majority of it. I just think she struggled with it thematically. She had some deep thoughts that she didn't quite deliver to me. I saw her trying to make them, but they didn't quite gel. So, but still, thoroughly enjoyed that one. And then Element by Fiona Mosley. I've had this one on my shelf since last fall, intending to read it, and glad to have gotten around to it. The writing in this one is gorgeous. Her writing style was just beautiful to me. It's a lot of almost stream of consciousness, which I like a lot. Interesting story. I liked the way the boy was written. This is enjoyable to read. It's a beauty to read on a literary level. The story itself, I was kind of it was a little jarring to me because I felt like it was intended to be modern times, but the thought processes behind just building a house on a piece of land that you don't own would have worked on a historical timeline, but as a modern timeline, it was harder for me to mesh with. So that kind of took me out of the story a little bit. And I thought the ending, I think she set up the ending with the daughter a little bit, but it just wasn't as forceful. I don't know. But this is another great one. So honestly, I feel like those 5 were spot on for me in my style, which is another thing that I like about this list. And I've thought about, this is only my 2nd year with the Reading Women's Prize, even knowing about it, quite honestly. But I've really appreciated, I read diversely, but I think it's hard for a judge as well to, do we want the judges to pick all of our style of books every year? I mean, I don't. I like the challenge of reading a variety, and I think it kind of spreads out the fun to, you know, have literature that appeals to different people, because we're all different, you know? So the other one that I have it on pre-order because I'm shallow and I care about book covers. I like art. I just do. And I think book covers are just neat artworks that, you know, track the literature themselves. I love it. But, you know, that whole Battenberg cake, I'm sure, makes deep emotional connections with the UK audience, but it doesn't translate, which obviously they realized. But so I'm waiting for the old lady and the violets on my cover, which will come sometime this summer. I have it pre-ordered, but I felt like I knew Joanna Cannon's writing style enough from her goat book that I was okay with not reading it prior to the prize win. So those are 6 that I already owned, and then these are the ones that I decided to purchase, and I haven't gotten to them yet and won't before the shortlist, so I'm really curious to see which of these will make the shortlist. I'm hoping some of these will actually make the shortlist because I'm more motivated to read them. So I have Sight by Jesse Greengrass, highly recommended by Eric Carl Anderson. I have See What I Have Done by Sarah Schmidt. I've really been wanting, I've been tempted to order this one for quite some time prior to the long list announcement, just because I don't read a lot of this style, but I do like a thriller, mystery, horror kind of thing now and then, and I really do seem to gravitate toward, in that particular genre, to true crime, and this is kind of a true crime somewhat. So looking forward to this one. And then these next 3 are ones that my enthusiasm is waning because of reviews that I've been seeing, but I'm still hoping to read them because I bought them. The Idiot by Elif Batuman. And this one is another that I had been seeing now and again all last year and thinking, I'm kind of interested in that book, but hadn't got around to reading it. So this prize list was the impetus to go ahead and get it. And I am kind of hoping that this one appeals to me. And it just was, I don't know if it was a runner-up for the Pulitzer, so that's interesting. So it can't be all bad, right? And then The Ministry of Utmost Happiness by Arundhati Roy. I have heard that this one is dense and windy, which I'm okay with that. I can do that. And not as good as The God of Small Things, which I've not read yet. And someone told me I should read that one first, but I think I should go with this one first, so that, because I know that one's great. I just feel it in my bones from what people have said. So I don't want to, you know, read that one first and this one be anticlimactic. But yes, that one. And then this one, I'm sad to see people not like it, because I've been looking forward to reading it this week. Miss Burma by Charmaine Craig, and this is a historical fiction. Yeah, I've just heard it's dark with no redemption, so I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it'll take too long, I hope. Yeah, it's just right at 300, so hoping to get to this soon. I'm really curious to see what is on the short list tomorrow. And so that leaves 5 more that I did not buy. Now, of those 5, we have 3 that I may consider getting if they're shortlisted. That would be A Boy in Winter, which I think I will like. I just wasn't in the mood for World War II literature. Manhattan Beach, same thing. And that one has been, this is the 3rd time it's been on our prize list, and I don't know why. Every time I see it, I'm thinking, oh, that looks interesting, but then I don't buy it. So I'm curious why that is with me. But anyway, it's something I would like. And then Trick to Time, which is by Kit DeWall, who I read My Name is Leon recently and really loved her writing style. So I may get that one eventually anyway, but I just can't buy everything. And then there are 2 more that I really honestly am not that interested in, and I don't know that I'll even get them if they're on the short list. And that's Happy, which over the last year or so I've realized I don't really like true experimental fiction all that much. It just doesn't work for me. I like stream of consciousness and I like magical realism, but experimental fiction itself doesn't really connect with my reading style. And then When I Hit You, I don't really like contemporary as much, especially when it's set around a relationship between a couple, married couple or dating couple. Those don't tend to appeal to me as much. So I may get that one. I mean, if it wins the prize, I will most likely probably maybe get it. But shortlisted, I may not. I don't know. But those are my thoughts. I'm really excited to see what's on the list. I don't really want to make any predictions because I haven't read enough yet to do that. I've only read 5. So, yeah. But I'm excited to see it. I just think it's fun, and I've enjoyed seeing everybody talk about it. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.